For the Record is brought to you by Vamped Motors, the only authorized Ford and Toyota dealership serving the Cayman Islands. K-Man Pharmacy Group, with a location in West Bay and professional pharmacy at CTMH Doctors Hospital. The K-Man Pharmacy Group has a location for you just around the corner. Seaboard Marine, with over 35 shipping ports, find your shipping solution by calling 949-4977 or visit seaboardmarine.com for competitive rates.
FIS MoneyGram, the safest and most convenient way to send money worldwide. MoneyGram, bringing you closer. Coca-Cola, available across the Cayman Islands from Tortuga distributors. Accept no substitutes. Taste the feeling with Coca-Cola. Brand Source Home Gallery, inspiring luxury. And Fidelity Bank. Fidelity, we're good for you.
This is For the Record with Orrett Connor.
Coming to you live from Radio Cayman Studio.
For the Record.
For the Record. For the Record. Hear from your government officials, independents, and the opposition on issues that matter to you. For the Record. Engage in an open dialogue between residents and lawmakers.
For the Record.
For the Record. The Record. Informative, impartial, insightful.
This is your talk show.
1-800-534-8255. Your calls, your input. This is For the Record. And now, your host, Orrett Connor.
Good morning and welcome to For the Record. Today is Friday, the 17th day of July 2020. I hope and I trust that everyone had a restful, peaceful, enjoyable evening. You early morning birds, you would have gotten some rain this morning as well, more in Georgetown than in the Eastern District, I must say. But again, we welcome the rain, even though we know that the mosquitoes are likely to accompany that as well. But we're hoping and we're trusting that MRCU will continue to do the sterling work that they have done in the past and help us to combat the mosquitoes during this period of time as well. Those of you who are on the roads of the Cayman Islands this morning, we urge you to please be extremely cautious. If you're a pedestrian, if you're a cyclist, if you're operating any type of motorized vehicle on the roads of the Cayman Islands, again, please observe the rules of the road and remember the life that you save may be your own. I believe that we're seeing less traffic accidents being reported now, and that's because of the reduction in the volume of traffic on the roads of the Cayman Islands as well. Unfortunately, I'm sure that at some point in time that will change as well. Anyone who's celebrating a birthday today, we want to wish you a happy birthday, or if you celebrated one over the past few days, a belated happy birthday, or if you're celebrating one over the weekend. If you're celebrating anniversaries, wedding anniversaries or whatever, we also want to wish you blessings. And of course, if you have lost a loved one during this period, we recognize that it is extremely challenging, even more challenging because of the limitations due to COVID-19. But again, we want to extend our sincere condolences to those of you who have lost loved ones as well. So, folks, I want to thank you for allowing Radio Cayman and, by extension, For the Record, into your homes, into your vehicles, as you traverse the busy roads of the Cayman Islands, into your places of work, wherever that may be. As you know, For the Record is a show produced by the staff and management of Radio Cayman, and it is geared towards keeping you abreast of issues as they arise and play out on the local, regional, and sorry. As you know, For the Record is a show produced by the staff and management of Radio Cayman, and it is geared towards keeping you abreast of issues as they arise and play out on the local, regional, and international scene. I am your host, Orrett Connor, and you're welcome to join me every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 7:30 a.m. until 10 a.m. During that period, our phone lines are always open. There is always someone there waiting to take your calls. That someone is usually the radio beautiful radio voice of Miss Susan Watson. So you can call us on our toll-free number provided courtesy of Flo. That toll-free number, 1-800-534-8255. You can also call us on 949-8037 and the 949-6990. If you don't like to talk on the telephone, then email us at fortherecord, one word, fortherecord at candw.ky. WhatsApp us 925-3261, where you can leave us a text message or send us a voice note, the contents of which will be played during the course of the show. And of course, you can follow us on YouTube simply by subscribing to Radio Cayman live stream. We have no guests in the studio with us this morning, but we will be talking to some members of the community. Few weeks, maybe even over a month ago, we spoke about the community kitchen that has been established by Mr. Raul Nicholson Co. and his wife, and we're going to talk about that this morning. So we have no members of the opposition in. I think Mr. Saunders, he's on the Public Accounts Committee, and I think they're all busy as well preparing for the next meeting of the Legislative Assembly, the new legislation that is going to be introduced as well. We're, 10 months away from elections. I just want to say to everyone, the free time that you're getting on Radio Cayman to come in and talk and get your face out there, that will soon stop. And, you want to be on and talk politics, you're going to have to pay for it eventually. My understanding is that there are other radio stations that are already, when people call in or when they're called to appear on the show, they're putting the accounts department onto them. So you know what that means. So I just say to you, while the door is open, take advantage of it. So we're going to talk about the community kitchen this morning. We're going to talk. We have to take our break at 7:45. We're going to hold. Our guests on there while we do the commercial, and we're going to have them talk to us about the community kitchen until the 8 o'clock news this morning. So let's go. Mr. Raul and Miss Cathy, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Morning, Missy. How are you?
I'm fine. How are you?
I'm very good, thank you. Very good, thank you. Thank you for having us on the show. This is truly an amazing opportunity to get the message out there of an initiative that really started by my wife, Cathy. Mm-hmm. And she began like it was maybe 8 weeks ago, actually, because we committed 8 weeks that we would do it. We have now decided to extend it beyond until the end of August because of the need being so great. So we were always supportive of charities, right? Specifically around kids and providing meals for persons in the community. And during the height of the COVID lockdown, we decided that, why don't we do a bit more? Well, she decided, why don't we do a bit more and start a soup kitchen, which was, at the time when she mentioned it, I was like, really, Cathy, that's a lot. It's a lot of logistics, considering that, we're shut down. You can't really move around as how we did normally in the past. And she said, no, we can do it. So we decided, and I remember it was on a Thursday, and the following week, he said, okay, we'll do it. The first time will be the following Thursday. We went when A.L. Thompson's opened up initially. We went and bought all the pots, and we spoke to the John Gray Memorial Church Board. We asked them whether or not we could use their kitchen to prepare the meals and distribute them from there. And they were fully on board. So we decided, and we hit the ground running. We went and bought all the supplies, and we started out, with my daughter, did the flyers. We got our friends involved. Marcia Milgate and her kids, they were delivery people. Myself were delivering. So it really was like an organic initiative, right? That started out with an intention to try to feed, the less fortunate in society, but also include as many friends as possible. And it has now, we felt after visiting and seeing the need, we decided we have to do it for an extended period of time. So we've extended it till August. And I'd like Cathy to to come in now and just, chat a bit about the reasons for that, because the need is great, OT, and it's especially among the kids now that they're on holiday. We decided to extend it. And the good thing is we have fantastic corporate partners. So Tilly's, which is part of the Palm Heights Hotel, they've come on board and they are now donating pizzas once a week to us. And we deliver pizzas to kids on Thursdays. So they are like fantastic partners. They literally met us one day. We were having lunch at Tilly's and we spoke to the chef and the manager, and they said, we're on board. We're immediately on board. Whatever you need, we're going to help you guys, because, they're fantastic community. That's really, really good. But also the support generally. So yesterday, our delivery day, so we did on Mondays and Thursdays from 12 until 1:30. And yesterday, I personally delivered about 70 soup sandwiches and kids' meals. And my kids delivered around, I think in total they delivered around 60-something as well. So it is a really a community effort. So, Kathy, I don't know if you want to say something to OC and the radio audience.
Sure. Morning, Miss Kathy. How are you? Welcome.
Hi, OC. Thanks. Just to elaborate some more on what Raul just said. But initially, we started out, we committed to 8 weeks financially, and after seeing the need in the community, I, said to him, Raul, I don't think, which ended yesterday, the 8 weeks originally that we committed to ended yesterday. I said to him, we have to continue. There's such a huge need out there, especially with the kids being out of school right now. And, we have to do more as citizens. We cannot just complain about it. It's all left up to government. No, us as individuals, we need to play our part. So him and I sat down and did our budget, and I said, you know what, we have to continue for another 4 weeks at least. And so going forward, we decided, we'll continue with the soup kitchen. We've changed it. We've now called it a community kitchen, because we now have, as he mentioned earlier on, Tilly's, Palm Heights. They were kind enough, we chatted with them, they offered, would you guys like us to donate pizzas once a week for the kids? And we're like, oh, that's fantastic, thanks. So they started, donating pizzas now. But originally it's a full soup that I cook. I have 2 people that help me doing the prep. And Miss Elaine, I don't know if you know Miss Elaine Rivers and her daughter, they come out every morning from John Gray. They're bright and early. They've been amazing, and I have to say thanks. Our neighbors, Marcia Millgates from Pilates Studios, I volunteer her before I even had the chance to ask her, which is, what makes it such a unique thing, And I called her afterwards and I said, Marcia, actually I volunteer you for the soup kitchen that I'm planning to do. And she was like on board. And what we do special treats for kids every Monday or Thursday. She either does mac and cheese or we do Subway sandwiches, and we do a proper package with snacks and juices for the kids, something for them to look forward to. So some days I'll get out of the kitchen in time to go on the delivery route, and the kids, they're so happy to see the other kids, including my kids and some of the other kids that does the delivering, and it's just a fulfilling thing to be able to give back.
Excellent. Raul and Ms. Cather, we're going to take this opportunity to take a commercial break. Stay on the line. As soon as we return from the commercial break, we will continue our conversation with you. Folks, please stay tuned for the record. We'll be back shortly.
The Cayman Islands boasts of a long, colorful, and rich history. In tribute to our roots, Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands, is pleased to bring you the Historical Vignette Series, brought to you by Rotary Central. For more than 110 years, Rotary members have used their passion, energy, and intelligence to take action on sustainable projects. The Cayman Islands, He hath founded it upon the seas.
Merle Adina Connolly, 1919-2000. Miss Merle Connolly was the daughter of Eleonora and Benoni Connolly. She was married to Samuel Chesley Connolly and had a family of 4 children. She spent much of her life in church of the Women's Fellowship, Sunday school teacher, elder, and president of the Christian Endeavor Society. Miss Merle enjoyed providing encouragement and advice to young people in East End. Christian Endeavor afforded her the opportunity to introduce young people to the arts. Among other activities, she directed plays and taught craft and sewing. She was certified in craft, especially plating silver thatch to make baskets and other articles. Her work was highly sought after by tourists and residents alike. She also enjoyed cooking and preparing traditional East End foods, such as stewed conch and heavy cakes, to assist with fundraising for the church and community projects. She touched the lives of all those with whom she came in contact with.
Radio Cayman's Historical Vignettes was brought to you by Rotary Central. For more than 110 years, Rotary members have used their passion, energy, and intelligence to take action on sustainable projects.
Rotary Central supports our National Gallery, now open free to the public, providing access to healing, renewal, and reflection through the arts. An opportunity to visit, to traverse Cayman Memory Lane, heritage, faces, places, voices, fabric, glimpsing a wider dimension of who we are, where we have come from. Join us at the National Gallery. You will see the Island of Women exhibition featuring 26 local artists exploring invaluable contributions that Caymanian women have made to developing Caymanian society. See the remarkable Bendel Heights Acquisition Showcase. Bendel is our Picasso. View salt water in their veins, a new exhibition featuring 45 local artists as they explore Cayman's legendary relationship with the oceans of the world. The National Gallery of the Cayman Islands. 8 exhibitions currently on show between Cayman Brac, Grand Cayman, and virtual tours online. The National Gallery in full compliance with safe distance and health requirements. Book your visit in advance to avoid waiting for entry. Call 945-8111. Rotary Central and the National Gallery of the Cayman Islands, supporting wellness, healing in reflection. Rotary opens opportunities.
We all know there's nothing more refreshing than the taste of an ice-cold Coca-Cola straight from the cooler.
No one can stop me when I taste the feeling.
Whether it's celebrating a birthday, promotion, or just a great meal, make each moment a Coca-Cola moment.
No one can stop me when I taste the feeling.
Available across the Cayman Islands from Tortuga Distributors. Make sure you ask for the unforgettable flavor of a classic Coca-Cola.
Fidelity Bank would like to thank all essential workers. We salute your efforts and thank you for the sacrifices you've made to keep us all safe. During these challenging times we're facing, our top priority is the health and safety of the communities we serve. And while it's true that things are changing rapidly every day, one thing that will never change is our commitment to giving you the best and sound financial solutions to help you during and after the coronavirus pandemic. At Fidelity Bank, our focus will always be you. Fidelity, we're good for you.
Recent worldwide events bring into focus the need for quality health care. Your life is meaningful. Your health is no laughing matter. Cayman Pharmacy Group strives to make your health their concern. Recognizing the complexities of pharmaceuticals and the need to personalize your care with one-on-one counseling. West Bay Pharmacy, Savannah Pharmacy, and CTMH Doctors Hospital Pharmacy. Convenient quality care is just around the corner. Visit CaymanPharmacy.com for more information. Cayman Pharmacy Group, taking care of your health.
You've spent a lot of time with your kitchen appliances lately. Did you realize just how old or out of date they really are? If you're thinking of upgrading or replacing your old kitchen appliances, there is only one place to go: Brand Source Home Gallery. They're having a 15% off sale on GE appliances this month. That's right, save 15% off on all GE appliances now through the end of July. You will love the savings and the look of your fresh new appliances from Brand Source Home Gallery in Industrial Park on Dorsey Drive. Call 623-5000 for more information.
The Toyota-thon 2020 event is going on now at Vamped Motors. Get our lowest prices of the year on a great selection of our most popular Toyotas, with big savings on the new CHR Hybrid, the 7-seater Rush, the adventurous RAV4, the rugged Hilux truck, and more. You can drive home an amazing deal. Save up to $5,000. Take the full discount, get cash back, upgrade your vehicle with your savings. It's all your choice during our huge Toyota-thon sales event going on through July. Don't miss out. Come to Vamped Motors for your new Toyota. Let's go places.
System 1 loaded.
1-800-534-8255. What is on your mind when it comes to the government, independence, and the opposition? Issues that matter to you. 1-800-534-8255. Waiting to hear from you. For the Record.
This is For the Record with Orrett Connor.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. We have on the line with us Mr. Raoul Nicholson Co. and his wife, Miss Kathy. We're talking about the community kitchen that Miss Kathy has established. Folks, I know that when we discussed this a few months ago, that there was also the possibility of persons being able to pick up meals, and you had pointed out that it wasn't necessarily limited to the district of to residents of the district of West Bay. Does that still obtain? Oh, we lost our connection there. We're going to try to reestablish connection with Mr. Raoul Nicholson Co. and his wife Kathy. I know, like I said before, we had callers, persons who inquired as to whether or not they could pick up meals, and that was shared with us that could be done as well. Okay. Meanwhile, let's give you an update on the COVID-19 situation. So the testing update for yesterday, the 16th of July, there were 117 COVID-19 tests carried out since it was last reported on Wednesday, the 15th of July. All were negative as well. So when we look at the dashboard, we had the number of confirmed cases of COVID-19 in the Cayman Islands stood at 203. The number of persons recovered, 200. The number of persons tested, 27,323. And again, we had one death in the Cayman Islands, but we need to place an asterisk by that one death in the Cayman Islands, because that was a situation where a person was brought off a cruise ship and hospitalized in the Cayman Islands. So it wasn't something that was acquired in the Cayman Islands. So we need to put an asterisk by that as well. So we have been extremely fortunate in the Cayman Islands, and that success is due to several factors, including the joint venture that we saw between the political arm of government and the civil service arm of government, the civil servants, the technocrats, where they worked hand in hand. The government wisely followed the advice given by the medical experts. Also, what was important was keeping the people of the Cayman Islands informed, and by having the press briefings, by having the weekly, sometimes 2 times a week, press briefings, keeping the public informed. People looked forward to it because they wanted to know what was going on. They understood what the conditions were when the curfew was imposed. We knew what was happening. And then, of course, getting the cooperation of the people of the Cayman Islands. Everyone pitching in to help, doing their part, staying off the streets, wearing the masks, following the sanitary advice that was given as well. And we continue to be successful. At this point in time, we don't want to drop the ball. We don't want to be complacent at all in terms of what we have been doing, because we have seen what has occurred in other jurisdictions. Now, it seems as if the pressure that was there being placed on the government by business owners, by construction companies, by builders, realtors, that has all been reduced now. We have seen the ability of those persons who wanted to leave the islands. That ability has been enhanced. We've been being able to repatriate persons all the way to India as well. So again, we see the reduction on the pressure on the government, the reduction of pressure on our infrastructure here in the Cayman Islands as well. All positive things, good things that have happened as a result of people being patient, as a result of the government following the advice of the experts, the medical experts, as a result of, and also by the government keeping them informed, keeping the public informed of exactly what was happening, what their intentions were, what the people needed to do, what the people needed to do if they wanted to be successful in combating the COVID-19. Not to say that there aren't challenges still ahead. We still have challenges when it comes to the opening of schools. We still have challenges until those schools are open, while we're in the summer break now. After the summer, what do parents do? Those who have to return to work, what do they do as well? Challenges when it comes to opening our borders, because while there is not that much pressure from the tourism industry now, when you start to see October, November, December kick in, then that is when the tourism sector would normally be busy. Are those pressures going to continue to increase at that point in time? I believe by then that we will have some idea of the way forward that we will take as far as opening up our borders. But so far, we have gotten most of it right, and we have gotten most of it right, and we hope to continue. I believe that we have been able to reestablish the link with Mr. Raul Nicholson Coe. Mr. Coe and Miss Kathy, welcome back.
All right.
We're about 1 minute before 8 o'clock news.
That's fine.
Okay.
That's fine. Yeah, thanks, Wesley. Yeah,
sure.
We had a bit of technical difficulties there, which is ironic. But the fact is, yeah, I mean, we're just excited about this. We've we have extended it, like we said, beyond into August. But what we also wanted to say that because of some community soup kitchen, we have a number 547-4209. So if anyone needs a meal or would like to help us to deliver, we'd love for them to get in contact with us, because I think this is a community effort because we are fortunate enough to be able to help, and I'm sure there are others out there that can help. And when you see the need, you're compelled to help. It's almost you're driven to do more, because it is everything is so close in Cayman. You know, more than likely you may know these people, right, or you may know their families, and you'll be able to help them. So, you know, we want to extend that to anyone that wants to help, that wants to help us deliver, because the kids are going back to school now. Daniel's leaving next week for back to university.
Okay.
The Millgate kids are leaving on the 31st as well. So we're going to need delivery drivers. And we have the routes mapped out, so it's quite easy. So if anyone that wants to help them, to please call us 547-4209. But also, I mean, we'd love to hear if there are others that need help as well. We'd love to hear from them as well. So I'll hang on. I know you have to go to the news break, and then we'll hang on and be able to wrap it up at 8:50.
Excellent. Okay, folks, please stay tuned. For the record, we'll be back immediately after the 8 o'clock news.
Thank you, Mr. Connor. And studio time now by Foster's is 8 o'clock.
Foster's Pharmacy, we've made it even easier for you to fill or refill your prescription by messaging our pharmacists on WhatsApp. Simply send us a photo of your prescription, we'll prepare it, and on arrival, you'll just need to have your original prescription for verification. You can even have a refill processed by sending us your prescription number. WhatsApp Foster's Airport Pharmacy at 926-7485 or Camana Bay at 926-7486. For more information, visit fosters.ky/pharmacy.
The 8 a.m. News is proudly sponsored by the Chamber of Commerce Pension Plan. For further information, please visit chamberpension.ky. The Cayman Islands Chamber of Commerce Pension Plan. We're here for you. Did you know that with the COVID-19 Emergency Withdrawal Program, we reviewed over 12,000 member applications in May, approved over 8,000 applications, and paid over CI $90 million to our members from June 12th onwards? We are the Cayman Islands Chamber of Commerce Pension Plan, and we're here for you. For further information regarding the Emergency Withdrawal Program, visit chamberpension.ky, and for information as it happens, follow us on Facebook, LinkedIn, or Instagram. Email admin@pensions.ky or 745-7630.
Your voice, your choice for today's biggest news.
Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands.
With your latest news, I'm Carsley Fuller. The Liquor Licensing Board advises Grand Cayman liquor license holders that the deadline for applications is August 14th. As Radio Cayman's Paula Cow reports, this includes those with music and dancing licenses.
Licensees should submit applications at the business licensing counter, first floor of the Government Administration Building. Application forms can be downloaded from the Department of Commerce and Investment's website, www.dci.gov.ky. The annual Liquor Licensing Board meeting is scheduled to be held on September 14, 2020. License holders are encouraged to submit applications for renewals as soon as possible and by the deadline to allow for the agenda to be published as stipulated by law. All liquor license holders are required to have a valid trade and business license. Those persons currently holding licenses that are in abeyance cannot renew their liquor license without a valid trade and business license. License holders are reminded that police clearances are no longer required for renewal applications. Inspections by the Planning Department are no longer a requirement for a renewal application. It is the responsibility of the licensee to make arrangements for annual inspections of the licensed premises by the Department of Environmental Health and the Fire Department. Copies of the inspection report must be retained by the licensee. Inspection reports are no longer required to be submitted with a renewal application. To renew a license, an applicant must submit a completed application form for each location and license being renewed along with the licensing fee for each category, and the Liquor Licensing Board will be notified at the annual session by the relevant department of any premises deemed unsatisfactory during the inspection process prior to the board's decision for renewal said license. Business owners may contact the relevant departments such as Department of Environment, Health, Fire Service, Fire Inspectors Mr. Darnley Scott, 345-916-0429, Mrs. Tiffany Ebanks, 345-926-8176, and Port Authority directly should they have any questions relating to inspections. Please carefully review license categories and the permitted hours given below to ensure that all applications are made for the correct category as per your business activity. For Radio Cayman News, I'm Paul Akal.
The National Gallery of the Cayman Islands' latest exhibition, Art Under Lockdown, has gotten rave reviews. The director of the National Gallery, Natalie Urquhart, says the response has been magnificent.
I think we've got some really lovely feedback, and again after that opening, because people had a chance, even in the virtual environment, to actually share their stories about the work. And I think this is one of the key elements of what makes the exhibition so important in this moment, but also very accessible to so many people, is that people are, really sharing a very honest interpretation of their time in lockdown. And for some of us, that was very difficult. For some of us, it was boredom. Some of us found it incredibly peaceful and relaxing. So we have such a wide scope of experiences.
Art Under Lockdown can be viewed online during the summer through August 31st by the National Gallery's website at nationalgallery.org.ky. Now with a check of international news, here's the BBC, which will take us out of the newscast. I'm Carsley Fuller from Radio Cayman's newsroom.
BBC News with Chris Barrow. Large areas of central and southern China are experiencing their worst flooding in decades. At least 15 million people have been evacuated as cities, towns and villages battle rising water. There's a rapidly increasing flow into the Three Gorges Dam on the Yangtze River. The Chinese government has cancelled hundreds of flights in and out of Urumqi, the capital of the far western region of Xinjiang, after detecting new coronavirus cases there. The authorities have shut down some public transport services. European Union leaders are meeting in Brussels for their first face-to-face summit since the start of the coronavirus crisis. The German Chancellor Angela Merkel said she expected very, very difficult discussions. She and President Emmanuel Macron of France are pushing for grants to make up the bulk of a €750 billion coronavirus recovery fund. 4 northern nations insist on loans, not grants. The British government has changed its advice on going to work in England. More people will be encouraged to return to their workplaces where safe as part of a gradual easing of lockdown measures. The authorities in Catalonia in northeast Spain are reimposing coronavirus restrictions after an upsurge in infections over the past week. They've asked people in the capital Barcelona to stay indoors. Gatherings of more than 10 people are discouraged. BBC News.
The 8 a.m. News is proudly sponsored by the Chamber of Commerce Pension Plan. For further information, please visit chamberpension.ky. The Cayman Islands Chamber of Commerce Pension Plan. We're here for you. Did you know that with the COVID-19 Emergency Withdrawal Program, we reviewed over 12,000 member applications in May, approved over 8,000 applications, and paid over CI 90 million to our members from June 12th onwards? We are the Cayman Islands Chamber of Commerce Pension Plan, and we're here for you. For further information regarding the Emergency Withdrawal Program, visit chamberpension.ky, and for information as it happens, follow us on Facebook, LinkedIn, or Instagram. Email admin@pensions.ky or call 745-7630.
Stay in touch with Radio Cayman for the latest in news and information.
Follow Radio Cayman on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Download the Radio Cayman app or log on to our website, www.radiocayman.gov.ky.
Radio Cayman, your voice, your choice, your radio.
Are you having financial difficulties? Are you unable to pay your water bills because of the coronavirus pandemic? The Water Authority wants to help. Contact a customer service rep today to arrange a payment agreement. Get in touch by emailing info@waterauthority.ky or call 94-WATER. That's 949-2837.
Hi, this is Danny Coleman, Director of Hazard Management Cayman Islands. We are now in the hurricane season, and for information on how to prepare and stay safe, please visit our website, www.caymanprepared.ky. Some top tips to bear in mind, given that we are still in the midst of COVID-19. Please make sure you have a mask and sanitizer, you have food supplies to last for 3 to 5 days, a portable radio, personal hygiene and sanitation items, and medical supplies, and any other specific items your family may need during a hurricane. Make sure you know where you will shelter in the event of a storm. If you have pets, please make sure provisions are in place for them too, as the majority of shelters will not take pets. Please visit our website for more tips and tricks on www.caymanprepared.ky or call us on 945 4624. Stay safe, Cayman.
The Weather Report is proudly sponsored by Super Stitch Sewing and Fabric Center, your one-stop household store at 39 Pasador Place, Smith Road. Still offering the best prices in town. Call 949-2833 or go to superstitch.com.ky.
New stock has just arrived at Super Stitch. Now don't take my word for it. Drop by and see for yourself. Fresh off the boat, we have loads of fabric, vinyl upholstery fabric, fabric for cushions, outdoor fabrics, and dress fabric. That's not all. Super Stitch has sewing accessories and craft items. Included in the new shipment, you will find sheets, comforters, throw pillows, bath mats, rugs, and curtains for every room in your home. Super Stitch, 39 Pasador Place, Smith Road. Still offering the best price in town. Call 949-2833 or go to superstitch.com.ky.
Pleasant good morning. Let's take a look at the latest weather report. Current temperature is 85 degrees. Relative humidity is 83%. Barometric pressure 29.93 inches and rising. The wind is southeast at 4 knots. Overnight low temperature was 79 degrees. Synoptics indicate cloudiness and showers over the Western Caribbean associated with a dissipated tropical wave will occasionally spread across the area over the next 24 hours. Radar images show isolated showers in and around the Cayman area, moving southwest. Now the forecast for today calling for partly cloudy skies with a 40% chance of afternoon showers and some thunder. Temperatures will be in the low 90s. It's going to be a hot day. Winds will be east to southeast at 5 to 10 knots, and seas will be slight with wave heights of 1 to 3 feet. Pretty much the same for tonight, partly cloudy to cloudy skies with a 40% chance of showers and some thunder, mainly over the sister islands of Cayman Brac and Little Cayman. Showers will be locally heavy at times. Temperatures falling to the low 80s tonight. Your winds will be east to northeast at 5 to 10 knots, and seas will be slight with wave heights of 1 to 3 feet. Today's low tide will occur this afternoon at 1:37, high tide again tonight at 8:32. The sun will set this evening at 5 minutes past 7 and will rise tomorrow morning at 5:58. And the outlook is calling for similar weather conditions through Sunday morning as another tropical wave moves over the Western Caribbean.
Super Stitch Sewing and Fabric Center was a proud sponsor of the Weather Report, your one-stop shop for all of your household items, craft items, jewelry, beads, and decorations, and much more. Call Super Stitch at 949-2833 or email customer care at superstitch.com.ky.
Super Stitch. We are known for our amazing fabrics, top quality tailoring, and dressmaking. But did you know that we also carry trimmings, glitter, sequins, acrylic paints for fabrics and craft, floral wire, glues, markers, foam balls, and assorted ribbons? Yes, we do. You have a do-it-yourself project? Just pop into Super Stitch and see what we have in store for you. There is a craft item for your every need.
My favorite, the beads, glass ones, flat, and even those shell ones.
Super Stitch, your one-stop household store at 39 Pasadora Place, Smith Road, still offering the best prices in town. Call 949-2833 or go to superstitch.com.ky.
The traffic report is brought to you by Subway. Planning a meeting, event, or office celebration? Visit subway.ky to place your catering order today.
A quick look at traffic to see how your traffic is shaping up this morning. Steady but flowing traffic on the West Bay Road in front of the Ritz. The same for Cool Road, steady but flowing traffic. Traffic is moderate coming from the West Bay four-way stop. Light traffic on Owen Roberts Drive, and traffic flowing at a good pace. And some sections of North Sound Road, other sections steady traffic. In and out of Georgetown and Shedden Road looking pretty good as traffic flowing nicely. No issues on Edward Street as traffic is moderate. And that's the very latest on your traffic. Join us again at about 10 minutes after 12. Another look at traffic. Remember, click it or ticket.
our subs made your way with multiple ordering and delivery options. Subway is making it easy for you to enjoy your favorite sandwiches, pizzas, and salads by offering delivery until 10 p.m. from West Bay to Bordentown. $5 delivery fee, no minimum order. Call the Subway location nearest to you or simply WhatsApp your order to 929-4658. You can also order Subway from Let's Eat or the Bento app, or visit our Anderson Square, Centennial Towers, West Shore Center, Industrial Park, East End Windham, and Countryside Shopping Village. Visit Subway Cayman's Facebook and Instagram page for current store hours. Subway, eat fresh.
The traffic report is brought to you by Subway. Planning a meeting, event, or office celebration? Visit subway.ky to place your catering order today.
Mommy, have you been taking your medication?
No, I think I forgot to pick it up.
Your doctor prescribed it for a reason, so you should be taking it regularly.
I know, TD. Thanks for the reminder.
If you are elderly or vulnerable and need your prescription delivered to your home, contact the Health Services Authority Pharmacy at 949-8600. Taking your medication when prescribed is important to your health, and your health matters to us. For more information about our pharmacy hours and locations, visit hsa.ky. Or call 949-8600.
Your Radio Cayman 6 p.m. news, Monday through Friday, is brought to you by Logic. Your life connected.
For the record, with Orrett Connor.
Initiating system.
For information that matters. For the record, with Orrett Connor. Continues right now on Radio Cayman.
Still there? Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. I believe Mr. Raul and Ms. Cathy are still on the line with us. We do have a long news break, and I know that Mr. Raul has other engagements. So welcome back, folks. I want to give you an opportunity to cover everything about the community kitchen.
Thanks, O.C. Thank you very much for allowing us to stay on here. This is such an important thing for us, O.C. I mean, we've always, this has become like a true family-oriented thing. It's the thing that my kids will look forward to, our friends look forward to. But what the point that I think is in this is that we all can do a little bit to help our community, right? And I think that is what has been brought it out when you go there and you see the need. A lot of these people don't need a lot, right?
Right.
They just need a helping hand.
Yes.
And the other thing that we've seen, because of going around the community, is not only for West Bay, it's for everywhere. So people from all over actually have come in and availed themselves of the soups, right? But there are other things out there that I think the community needs as well, especially around, like kids getting access to computers, to the internet, stuff like that. So Kathy and I were thinking, even when this is over, and we don't know when this is going to be over, right? That this could be an extended period of.
That is so true. Everything is so fluid. Yes.
It's so fluid. I mean, there is no vaccine as yet. I know the government is doing their part, but I think we all need to do our part, right? As citizens that have the ability to do it, so we see the need, and we have to extend this to beyond what the immediate need is. There may be needs in the future, and we have to be able to identify those needs. And that's why we encourage anyone. We live sometimes in a bubble, and we don't go outside of that bubble. But the moment you step outside that bubble, you actually see that the bubble that you lived in wasn't a true reflection of the society in which we live and enjoy.
So true, yes.
And sometimes that bubble can be burst if we don't actually fix the things that are outside of that bubble. And it becomes so poignant to me when I drive around and deliver. And these people actually they look forward to seeing you. I thought you were a bit late today. I'm like, yeah, I am so sorry. And they're so grateful, O.C. That's the thing. Like, no one has ever turned it away, right? Has said, and what we don't take any names or anything. We don't have a date. We have names, but we don't have a database. They're just by first names, because the way we see it is that no one is going to take food unless they actually need it, right? And that's the philosophy that we want. Everyone is welcome. They can walk in to the John Gray Memorial Church Hall, and they can just pick up a soup and a sandwich and leave, or a pizza and leave. We don't care where you're from, what social economic background you're from. It doesn't matter, because anyone that comes to get food, they must be in a need. And that's the philosophy that we have employed.
Okay.
This is Kathy's philosophy. She's been supportive of the John Gray Memorial, and we have been actually the pantry, and we've always been doing that. And this was just an extension of what we were doing prior to COVID. And we just felt the need is much greater now, and therefore we had to increase our participation as well. So,
sure.
Yeah, I don't know if you want to say something.
Yeah, if you could repeat the details again in terms of the days, the time, and any important details, because I'm sure that after we finish here, we'll get some WhatsApp messages asking the same questions again.
Okay, so OC, it's on Mondays from 12 to 1:30, and our number, as Raul mentioned before, it's 547-4209. And the pizzas and the mac and cheese, well, we've been doing the kids' meal all along. It's just that Tilly's have come on board now, and they've decided to supply us with pizzas once a week, specifically for the children, because there are a lot of kids that normally get fed through the different charities, Feed Our Future, Kiwanis, during the school sessions. But those kids, I'm not 100% sure what their situation is or will be. But between now and August, we will continue to provide those 2 days, Monday and Thursdays, those kids with meals. So if they're unable to come to the kitchen, their parents or guardians, just reach out to us. Or we have delivery people, and they can get it to them. Just reach out to us, that morning. That would be nice. And we'll make it available to whoever is in need.
Right. And Raul did indicate that you will be losing some of your delivery drivers because your son will be returning to college and others as well.
Others.
So those persons who would want to assist in that area?
Definitely. We would appreciate that. They can give us a call on the 547-4209. And spoke to them. I reached out to them because their kitchen closed on the 23rd. So starting this Monday, we're taking on, I might not be able to take on all the people they have in West Bay, but I'm going to be taking on quite a few of their people. So I will definitely going to need more drivers.
Okay. Anything else, Raul?
No, I just want to thank you for allowing us this opportunity, right? Because you've always been an advocate of ensuring that we get the right messages out there to our community, and this is the most acute time for this for people to help, and we want to thank everyone that has helped us, both for supporting us, but also words of encouragement, and that's actually sometimes the most fulfilling thing. And when people tell you that, fantastic, keep doing it, this is what we need. And it's also an amazing thing when you have kids, teenager kids, and they get involved with it. Then they also see the need in their community, and they also understand how blessed they may be and how blessed they are. So, it serves multiple purposes, and we're just so happy to be able to do it, and want to continue to do it as long as possible.
Raul, OC, if I may,
sure.
If I may interrupt, as we've been doing this 8 weeks now, and going out in the community. Raul and I have identified that the importance of not just feeding the kids physically, but there's so much more as a community that we all need to do. We have to be able to. We have to try to help the other kids, try to give them, what we want for our kids. And we might not be able to continue the community soup kitchen, but we'd like to take this further, introduce, different initiative, ways to help the children.
Certainly. And, we're going to, after this, when kids go back to school, then you're going to have the festive season coming up for Christmas and everything. We don't know what position we will be in then as far as adults being employed and everything else. So we may see this need continuing into that, not only for food, but again, for those children to be able to enjoy some of the amenities that other more fortunate children are able to enjoy during that festive season as well.
Exactly. All right.
And the critical thing is that there are multiple constituencies, like in terms of what they need, and not in the from a male perspective, female perspective, from an age perspective, right? And when we go out, we see that kids need different types of support and help, and it sometimes it's always encouraging. I mean, we went out to a deliver one time, and Kathy was in the car, and she'd gotten early, and there was a little girl, and she said, "Well, my birthday is on Thursday, right?" And it was just, Kathy made a point. Look, I'm going to get the little girl a gift, and it was the most amazing reaction of a gift giving opportunity. It was just unbelievable.
Wow,
right? It was heart-wrenching. But the fact is, that's just, as you said, that's just one tangible thing. But there are other things that we can do, I think, to give them a leg up, right, and a step up, because we can't, for the community to benefit and the island to benefit, I think we have to look at all aspects of development, like socially, emotionally, and a lot of these kids are amazing kids. They have personalities that are unbelievable, but they just haven't been given an opportunity, and I think we need to look at that as a society as well. So that perhaps is our next project, to see how we can work with other partners to make that a reality.
Yeah, and the good thing about this also is those children now who are not in such a fortunate position, but they see what you have done for them. We see in society these days where people come from humble beginnings. They remember what people have done for them, and they then turn around and pass it forward as well, and help others as a result of that. So those that you're helping now, they're the future of these islands, and they're the future humanitarians that we're creating as well, simply by the fact that someone was nice and considerate to them. They will do the same thing as well. So
agreed, Osi. That is exactly the philosophy. You help one, and that more than likely that's going to leave an impression on them, and they will help others as well. So.
Precisely.
But that's exact. I mean, you've given us the opportunity to get the message out there, and I think that's one way in which you have helped us, right? And you've always been open whenever I call. I know I called yesterday, and you said I'll call you in the morning early, and you did call at 6:30 and said I have no slot. And I thank you for that.
Yeah, sorry, I think I may have woke you up.
No, you actually didn't wake me up. You didn't wake me up. I'm an early riser.
Okay,
but
good.
The fact is, we were, we will more than likely call you again next week, because whenever we have a new partner on board or a new initiative, we'd love for the community to hear about it.
Sure, and feel free to do so. And just one more time for, just repeat the days, the numbers, those persons who are interested in volunteering as drivers. Let's give them the number so that they can contact you as well.
Okay, it's Mondays and Thursdays from 12 to 1:30, and the number is 547-4209.
And that's at the John Gray Memorial
Church Hall. Yes, they've been kind enough. They've been kind enough to allowed us to use it, and we really appreciate that. And Miss Elaine Rivers and her daughter have been absolutely amazing. They're there every morning before I get there, getting the carrots, the pumpkin, the potatoes, everything prepped. It's really a community event, and you find, I've said to Raul, in years, this is one of them, besides having my two children, this is the second most fulfilling thing I've done in a while. Over the years, Raul and my thing is, that we've been very quiet about. We're a big supporter of the John Gray Memorial Food Pantry in West Bay, which a lot of people is not aware of that. There is a food pantry at the United Church Hall, and people go there weekly. During COVID, of course, that was impossible. So he mentioned before, that's how the idea came about. We needed to do something else because we're unable to go to the supermarket or cost you less price right wherever and pick up things in bulk and take it there. So out of that came the community kitchen.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Well, I want to say thank you all very much for what you're doing, for the community, as well. And I'm sure, based on the stories that you've told, that people are really appreciative, of that, especially the younger ones as well. And we urge those who are in a position to assist. They're going to need drivers, so please get in contact with them. Raul, Miss Kathy, you have a great day, have a great weekend, and stay safe.
You too. Thank you so much. Thank you. Have a good weekend, also.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Folks, we're going to take a commercial break. When we return, the conversation will continue. No guests in the studio. We have an open line for you to call in. I have several things to discuss as well. The whole issue of register of beneficial owners, that is still on the table. We see the UK Foreign Secretary made a statement in the House of Commons yesterday in regards to that. I will share that with you. We see statements being made in Bermuda in terms of their registry and some issues with the BVI as well. So we will discuss that when we return.
We all know there's nothing more refreshing than the taste of an ice-cold Coca-Cola straight from the cooler.
No one can stop me when I taste the feeling.
Whether it's celebrating a birthday, promotion, or just a great meal, make each moment a Coca-Cola moment.
No one can stop me when I taste the feeling.
Available across the Cayman Islands from Tortuga Distributors. Make sure you ask for the unforgettable flavor of a classic Coca-Cola.
Recent worldwide events bring into focus the need for quality health care. Your life is meaningful. Your health is no laughing matter. Cayman Pharmacy Group strives to make your health their concern. Recognizing the complexities of pharmaceuticals and the need to personalize your care with one-on-one counseling. West Bay Pharmacy, Savannah Pharmacy, and CTMH Doctors Hospital Pharmacy. Convenient quality care is just around the corner. Visit CaymanPharmacy.com for more information. Cayman Pharmacy Group, taking care of your health.
At Seaboard Marine, customers often ask us questions about their shipments.
I have various items coming from different suppliers that I need to ship to Cayman. Do you offer consolidation?
Yes, Seaboard Marine offers consolidation for full and less than container loads. We can hold your packages at our Miami warehouse until everything arrives and ship it all in one go. And we have the best rates to Grand Cayman. Visit seaboardmarine.com for more information.
Shipping shore to shore, Seaboard.
The Toyota-thon 2020 event is going on now at Vamped Motors. Get our lowest prices of the year on a great selection of our most popular Toyotas with big savings on the new CHR Hybrid, the 7-seater Rush, the adventurous RAV4, the rugged Hilux truck, and more. You can drive home an amazing deal. Save up to $5,000. Take the full discount, get cash back, upgrade your vehicle with your savings. It's all your choice during our huge Toyota-thon sales event going on through July. Don't miss out. Come to Vamped Motors for your new Toyota. Let's go places.
System 1 loaded.
1-800-534-8255. What is on your mind when it comes to the government, independence, and the opposition? Issues that matter to you. 1-800-534-8255. Waiting to hear from you. For the Record.
This is For the Record with Orrett Connor.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. No guests in the studio. We have an open line for you to call in. So in Bermuda, and I'm sure that we'll see it in our local press here, and more than likely we will get some announcement from the government in the Cayman Islands as well in relation to beneficial ownership. But it is said in the Bermudan papers that Dominic Raab, the British Foreign Secretary, has welcomed Bermuda's commitment to make its company's beneficial ownership register public as a step to improve global transparency. In an update to the British Parliament yesterday, Mr. Raab said the island was one of 8 overseas territories to commit to transparency on who owns companies. It's quoted as saying, "This is an important step forward by governments from across the overseas territories." He's also quoted as saying, "I welcome the leadership to improve corporate transparency and the message it sends about the need to tackle illicit finance globally." The British government said it expects that beneficial ownership information on businesses and businesses registered in overseas territories will be accessible to the public by 2023. And of course, these are my words. Now, you know that there is an order in council that is in place and to be issued in the event that the territories fail to do what the UK wants them to do. It says in his report, he added that Anguilla, the Cayman Islands, the Falkland Islands, Montserrat, the Pitcairn Islands, and St. Helena, Ascension Island, and Tristan da Cunha, and the Turks and Caicos Islands had also made the commitment. And we know that our premier here, we made the commitment, but our commitment is that, we will do it when all of the others have done so. When there's a standard that is in place, there's a level playing field for everyone, and all have the same commitments and all have the same things in place. We're not going to be guinea pigs here in the Cayman Islands. So it added that the UK government has led an international campaign to make such registers a global norm by 2023 and is hopeful the only remaining permanently inhabited territory not to make an announcement, the British Virgin Islands, will make a similar commitment soon. The FCO is continuing to work with their government in encouraging them to take this action. And the article goes on to point out that last Sunday, the Bermudan government confirmed its intention for the beneficial ownership register the island has kept for about 70 years to become publicly accessible. It said the European Union was due to publish an implementation review of the 5th Anti-Money Laundering Directive in January of 2022. The directive requires EU member states to keep records on the ownership of companies that are open to the public. The Bermudan government added, within 12 months of that publication, we will therefore bring forward to the legislature proposals to establish public access to beneficial ownership data of companies held on a central registry. So they have given that commitment. Now, what I want to also share with you, and I hope I can find that, I hope I still have that. Yes, I do. Well, I thought I did, but I will also share with you what Bermuda, what the BVI has said in regards to the situation with them on beneficial ownership, and it does not appear, the register of beneficial ownership, and it does not appear at this point in time that they're necessarily going to relent. I am not sure whether or not they're going to try to use this as some bargaining chip in relation to their constitutional talks, but because we know that they will be entering into constitutional talks with the UK government soon. So the Premier of the British Virgin Islands has pointed out that the beneficial ownership secure search system known as BOSS in the British Virgin Islands continues to place the British Virgin Islands in the cutting edge of beneficial ownership information exchange, with the capability of responding to requests in real time. In updating the territory on the financial services industry on July 14th, just a few days ago, Premier and Minister of Finance, the Honourable Andrew Fahey, said that utilizing the BOSS system has enabled the Virgin Islands to also rise to meet European Union standards on data collection with an efficiency and effectiveness that some of our competitors may envy. In April 2016, the government signed an exchange of notes agreement with the United Kingdom government. The portal can be accessed by competent authorities in the British Virgin Islands and the UK, and I believe that is similar to what we have here in the Cayman Islands. At one point in time, I think once a request had been made, we had a period of time that we would respond to it. I think that has since been enhanced. So the system is built to ensure that the territory can efficiently exchange that information in relation to the exchange of notes. The BVI's Beneficial Ownership Secure Search System is a cutting-edge electronic search engine that enables the relevant BVI authorities to have a searchable database with information on BVI companies and their beneficial owners. The system was pioneered in the Virgin Islands to facilitate the sharing and searching of BVI beneficial ownership information. Premier Fahey expressed that the government of the Virgin Islands wrote to the United Kingdom government last week, reiterating the territory's continued commitment to the exchange of beneficial ownership information with the UK under the exchange of notes on beneficial ownership signed in 2016. And he's quoted as saying the government of the British Virgin Islands continues to be very pleased that the UK law enforcement, including the National Crime Agency, continues to find this arrangement effective. The Virgin Islands, in this regard, communicated that this jurisdiction has been deemed largely compliant by the Financial Action Task Force. He stated beneficial ownership information in the system will also be available to other authorities in the British Virgin Islands to ensure that they are able to meet their international obligations. Importantly, the system will not be accessible by the public. He explained that the government took the opportunity in the letter to highlight that the British Virgin Islands continue to meet and adhere to the highest international standards as a responsible, cooperative, and quality financial center. In regards to international tax, Premier pointed out that the Virgin Islands remains on the white list for the Organization of Economic Cooperation and Development, OECD, and the European Union. So we see here, unequivocally, the Premier of the Virgin Islands has said that their system, BOSS, which is a register of beneficial owners of companies, that their system will not be accessible to the public. So right away, right here, we're seeing the British Virgin Islands taking a completely different position, much more robust position than some of the other overseas territories who have said different things like, yes, we will do it, but we will do it in lockstep with all of the other jurisdictions, including the big players, as well. It'll be interesting to see what will happen there, whether or not this order in council then will have to be imposed, and which jurisdictions that imposition will take place on. Folks, time for us to take a commercial break. Please stay tuned. For the record, we'll be back shortly.
Fidelity Bank would like to thank all essential workers. We salute your efforts and thank you for the sacrifices you've made to keep us all safe. During these challenging times we're facing, our top priority is the health and safety of the communities we serve. And while it's true that things are changing rapidly every day, one thing that will never change is our commitment to giving you the best and sound financial solutions to help you during and after the coronavirus pandemic. At Fidelity Bank, our focus will always be you. Fidelity, we're good for you.
Recent worldwide events bring into focus the need for quality health care. Your life is meaningful. Your health is no laughing matter. Cayman Pharmacy Group strives to make your health their concern. Recognizing the complexities of pharmaceuticals and the need to personalize your care with one-on-one counseling, West Bay Pharmacy, Savannah Pharmacy, and CTMH Doctors Hospital Pharmacy. Convenient quality care is just around the corner. Visit CaymanPharmacy.com for more information. Cayman Pharmacy Group, taking care of your health.
You've spent a lot of time with your kitchen appliances lately. Did you realize just how old or out of date they really are? If you're thinking of upgrading or replacing your old kitchen appliances, there is only one place to go: Brand Source Home Gallery. They're having a 15% off sale on GE appliances this month. That's right, save 15% off on all GE appliances now through the end of July. You will love the savings and the look of your fresh new appliances from Brand Source Home Gallery in Industrial Park on Dorsey Drive. Call 623-5000 for more information.
For the record, with Orrett Connor.
Initiating system.
For information that matter. For the record, with Orrett Connor. Continues right now on Radio Cayman.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. Two more things we want to talk about. Remember, the phone lines are open. You can call us on our toll-free number, provided courtesy of Flo. That toll-free number, 1-800-534-8255. You can also call us on 949-8037, 949-6990. Email us at fortherecord, one word, fortherecord at candw.ky. WhatsApp us, 925-3261. As well, those of you who sometimes have to rush to and not have enough time for you to talk simply because we either have guests or we have to go to commercial break, this is a good time for you to call in now when there's not that much traffic, on the phones. We know what will happen later on, or as soon as we hit a hot topic, then everyone will want to call in. So if you have something else that you want to talk about, you have your agenda, please call in about it as well. There's something else I want to harp on because I really, really hope that someone is listening in this regard. A situation where someone had to leave one of the islands in the Cayman Islands to go to another island because of a family death. They had to attend a family funeral. Arrived, attended the funeral, then had to quarantine for 14 days before they returned. They're public servants, they were recommended for the bonus that government is given, extending to those persons who were on the front line during the COVID-19, and this little token of appreciation that the government is given. But while that person was recommended for it and would have qualified but for the 14-day quarantine period and the period of time that they were given as compassionate time, they have been told that they will not get that bonus from the government. It is unfair. Even if they were to consider prorating what they would normally give the person to take into account the period of time that they would have been off. But to punish an individual because they had to attend a funeral and because they had to be quarantined as a result of government regulations is unfair. I don't want to name the department, but someone needs to look into it because it is unfair. So the frontline work that individual did all along, you take that and you cancel that and you say that was all for naught. That means absolutely nothing because you had to be quarantined for 14 days and you took compassionate leave of whatever amount of days. We started the lockdown from, when was it? Sometime in March. We started the lockdown in March. That person, when they return to the island, they immediately return to their work and continue to work. There are still people who are working from home as opposed to those who are out there, on the front line. It is totally unfair. And if the minister who's responsible for that department is not aware of it yet, someone needs to make the minister aware of it. And if necessary, I will call the department that it is involved. I won't do so at this point in time, but if it becomes necessary, because we have several ministers out there, so no minister really knows who it is at this point in time because I haven't mentioned the department. But it is grossly unfair, and you really don't want to, at this point in time, to have a disgruntled employee who feels that they have been singled out simply because no fault of their own, they had to be absent, but yet while they were present at work, they continued to function and would have otherwise have qualified, except for the fact that for 14 days they had to be quarantined. But again, sometimes this is what you get from some government departments instead, and some individuals who are in the decision-making position, that they're looking not to see how they can assist you and how they can help you without breaking any rules, but more so how we can punish you, how we can make it more difficult for you to get, more difficult for you to qualify. So people continue to talk about littering in the Cayman Islands, and we hear discussions, about fines, and we should increase the fines, and why aren't the police issuing tickets and arresting people for littering. It is one thing if you have debris refuse on your property, then you can be identified. But if someone is driving on the roads of the Cayman Islands and they decide that they're going to throw the package that they were eating something out of, or the can that they were drinking something out of the vehicle, the possibility of a police officer being around when that happens is almost nil. There may be other drivers, and yes, the driver can take the license plate number of the vehicle and report it. There are those persons who advocate increasing the fines, those who advocate arresting, but my position on that is that neither of those will help the situation, because enforcement is very, very difficult. What we have to do in the Cayman Islands is we have to recreate, and notice I say recreate. We have to recreate the culture of cleanliness to go along with our godliness in the Cayman Islands. Those persons who come to the Cayman Islands, some of them may come from countries that have strict laws as far as littering is concerned, and so they come from that culture and they continue to practice it wherever they go. On the other hand, you get people who come from a culture where it means nothing to throw your garbage out of the window of a vehicle, or if you're walking on the road and a candy wrapper or a can of soda or whatever, when you finish with it, you just chuck it to the side of the road. Those persons are the danger in terms of our environment and our cleanliness. And those are the ones that we have to acclimatize to the way that we live in these islands. So we can pass all of the legislation that we want. We can increase the fines. We can have high expectations which are unreasonable expectations for the police to arrest people, to ticket them, because it is virtually impossible for a police officer to be present when something like that is happening. Chances are the person sees the police, they're not going to do it. So the only way is to create that climate, create that culture of cleanliness, and everyone's responsibility to keep these islands clean and presentable for all of us. That's the only way for it to be done. Not by enforcement. We have to, in this case, we need to use the carrot approach, not the stick, because we can have the stick there, but not able to use it because we're unable to identify the perpetrators. So we have to use the carrot approach. Have those garbage bins out there, have the signs about littering out there, and yes, if you want to put what the fine is, what the penalty is, if a person is convicted of littering, warn them of it. But we want to bear in mind that the enforcement of that is almost, it is very difficult to enforce. So we need to remind people to be clean. We need to remind people, hold on to your garbage. If you're eating something in your vehicle, wait until you get home and put it in the garbage. But you know what? 9 times out of 10, those persons who choose to litter, I believe if you were to go to places where they occupy, yeah, we say, Miss Susan, go to the yard. If you were to go to their yard, you'd likely to see the same thing, because what you practice at home is what you practice when you go out there on the streets. So, those of you who keep hammering home, let's find them, let's prosecute them. It is very difficult. It's not. It's easier said than done. Top of the hour, headline news at 9 o'clock, folks. Please stay tuned. For the record, we'll be back shortly.
You are listening to Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands.
89.9 Radio Cayman helps you to weather the storm during this hurricane season.
One of the most crucial elements of hurricane preparedness is storm awareness. During the season, it is of utmost importance to pay attention to the latest local weather forecast, as hurricanes do not suddenly form or strike. There are various methods of advanced notification. Utilizing such may be the difference between a favorable outcome and disaster. Both television and radio serve as excellent mediums with up-to-the-minute storm path information in the wake of a hurricane. Another method of tracking a hurricane may be only arm's length away. Your smartphone or tablet can be your most valuable tool before, during, and after a storm, providing countless numbers of apps with crucial hurricane information. Many apps allow you to track storms with moving radar and satellite imagery, plus offer alerts, current conditions, forecasts, advisories, and even video.
This hurricane preparedness tip was brought to you by your community radio station, Radio Cayman 89.9 FM.
Today's biggest news.
Radio Cayman.
It's only 2 species that we have here on the island.
Generations present.
Your voice, your choice.
It is in the best interest of the people of these islands.
Local, regional, international. This is Headlines from Radio Cayman's newsroom.
Today's biggest news.
Thursday's COVID-19 test results, of which there were 117, all came back negative. Government is hosting a live press briefing on the issue later today. Make sure to tune into Radio Cayman at 3 o'clock to hear it live. In international news, Boris Johnson has announced new steps for the easing of lockdown procedures in England from August 1st. The Prime Minister says local authorities will get more powers to bring in lockdowns in their areas to contain future outbreaks. The health secretary there has called for an urgent review into data on deaths in England. There have now been more than 1 million confirmed cases in India and 2 million in Brazil. The total in both countries has doubled in less than a month. In the United States, a daily total of new cases has hit another record. With infections rising, Japan is now recording more daily cases than Italy. The United Kingdom, U.S., and Canada have accused Russian spies of targeting vaccine researchers. Globally, there have been 13.8 million cases since the outbreak began, with 589,000 deaths. Those are your headlines. I'm Carsley Fuller.
For the latest in news and information,
follow Radio Cayman on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Download the Radio Cayman app or log on to our website, radiocayman.gov.ky.
your voice, your choice, your radio.
For the record, with Orrett Connor.
Initiating system.
For information that matter. For the record, with Orrett Connor. Continues right now on Radio Cayman.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. No guests in the studio. The phone lines are open. No calls at the moment. So, talking about the litter situation in the Cayman Islands. And based on what I said, if you think I'm wrong, I'm talking to you on the 17th of July 2020. Here is someone talking to you on the 20th of July 1967. That would be what, 53 years, Miss Susan? Somewhere around there, yeah? Yeah, 53 years ago. 53 years ago. Tradewinds newspaper, their editorial, Litter Becoming a Menace, says, take a keen look as you walk through Georgetown. Don't look at the nice buildings or the big cars, but look at the vacant lots. Look at the empty spaces and the land behind some of the offices and commercial establishment. What will you see? Garbage, piles of litter, mounds of rubbish. As Georgetown develops, the town is certainly going to need municipal provisions for garbage disposal and street cleaning, and we think that it is about time that the government gave serious consideration to the matter. The problem is with us now. Unsightly litter is proving to be an eyesore, and in some places, could even begin to be a health hazard very soon. At present, it is up to the individual citizen to make sure his own property is kept clean and tidy, and that garbage is incinerated or buried properly. It is also up to the general public to refrain from throwing litter, such as paper bags and bottles and cartons, in the streets. Speaking of bottles, we commend the policy of the new management of the local bottling company, now called the Witch Eden Bottling Company, who are offering to pay 3 pence for every bottle returned. All the other companies retailing soft drinks in the island are selling their bottles on a non-returnable basis. The amount of soft drinks which are being consumed at a rapidly increasing pace in Grand Cayman means that very soon there will hardly be room on the islands to dump all of the bottles. There will now be a brisk business for small boys and others collecting which soft drinks bottles for the 3 pence and correspondingly less litter and broken glass spread over the face of the islands. So, 1967, we had a litter problem in the Cayman Islands. Now, I will say this much. Based on what I said earlier about those coming to the islands and coming from jurisdictions where there may not be, there may be a culture that is different in terms of litter. 1967, we didn't have that many foreigners here in the Cayman Islands. So at that point in time, this editorial was speaking to mainly Caymanians. But things have changed since then. Like I said, 53 years ago. So things have changed. And while successive governments have done so much in terms of, you may complain about Mount Trashmore, but we have come a long way to get to Mount Trashmore. There were days, there was a time when right opposite the government administration building where it is now, there were crevices in that area that were used to dump garbage in because we didn't have any proper dump at that point in time. And some of you who are older than I am may know more in terms of how garbage was disposed of. But at one point in time, where the old immigration building is now, right in that area there, it was used for garbage. So we have come a long way in terms of reaching Mount Trashmore. You just saw recently where the Department of Environmental Health has taken delivery of more garbage trucks. We have established a very reliable garbage pickup system in the Cayman Islands, even though some of us complain that we have gone from 2 days a week to 1 day a week. There are countries that have no days per week as far as garbage pickup is concerned. So what I'm trying to say is that we have made strides, great strides, in terms of garbage collection in the Cayman Islands from 1967 until now. So what obtained then, when we were addressing the situation, in relation to Caymanians, changed completely now, because we have over 100 different nationalities in the Cayman Islands coming from diverse parts of the world with customs that are completely different than ours, with economies that are completely different from ours. Some more advanced, some not so more advanced. Some people coming from rural areas as opposed in foreign countries, as opposed coming from the metropolitan areas as well. So all of those things factor into what we have today. One of the other issues that was mentioned in this editorial was the properties, undeveloped properties that were overgrown. And it's still not unusual, even right in Georgetown, in central Georgetown, to find properties that are not developed, but they are overgrown with vegetation. Those persons need to be responsible, and maybe the government needs to put legislation in place for those as well. How about putting a little tax on there? If you don't keep your property clean. If those properties are not owned by Caymanians and they're owned by foreigners who are speculating, foreigners who are not resident in the Cayman Islands, what about the thought of placing a tax, some sort of tax, on non-Caymanian owned properties that are undeveloped, that are sitting there simply for speculative purposes? You want to get lands, you want to get property potentially back into the hands of Caymanians. If they have to pay taxes on property that remains undeveloped, they may not hold on to it as long for speculative purposes to make a windfall profit at the end of the day as well. But of course, some of these suggestions that I am making will take bold individuals to make those moves. Individuals who are not in fear of upsetting people. Governments who, while being mindful of the fact that we don't want a flight from the islands, also recognizing that once what you're doing is justifiable, and once it is supported by the majority of Caymanians who have to live here come what may, those bold steps can be taken and must be taken by those governments who recognize that we cannot continue to just simply fail to act as a result of fear of losing people, fear of upsetting people, fear that people won't invest. Because while one person may not be prepared to invest and to take their money and run, there are others who are waiting to come, or others who are here already, Caymanians as well, who are ready to invest. But the competition may be a little bit too tough, or the obstacles may be a little bit too high. The obstacles may be a little bit too high for them to overcome. But with a little clearing of space, you will see more people being active as well. We're going to take a commercial break. When we return, we need to talk about the Public Accounts Committee. We need to talk about off-reg. I want to hear from you in terms of if you've been listening to the proceedings of the Public Accounts Committee, what your impressions are in relation to what is happening in off-reg. I have mine, And I will share those with you when we return.
The Toyotathon 2020 event is going on now at Vamped Motors. Get our lowest prices of the year on a great selection of our most popular Toyotas with big savings on the new CHR Hybrid, the 7-seater Rush, the adventurous RAV4, the rugged Hilux truck, and more. You can drive home an amazing deal. Save up to $5,000. Take the full discount, get cash back, upgrade your vehicle with your savings. It's all your choice during our huge Toyotathon sales event going on through July. Don't miss out. Come to Vamped Motors for your new Toyota. Let's go places.
Fidelity Bank would like to thank all essential workers. We salute your efforts and thank you for the sacrifices you've made to keep us all safe. During these challenging times we're facing, our top priority is the health and safety of the communities we serve. And while it's true that things are changing rapidly every day, one thing that will never change is our commitment to giving you the best and sound financial solutions to help you during and after the coronavirus pandemic. At Fidelity Bank, our focus will always be you. Fidelity, we're good for you.
Headlines.
With the latest headlines.
One of Cayman's bright and shining young stars.
Local, regional, international.
Turning to international news.
Updates on the hour between 7 a.m. and 6 p.m. on weekdays. All the news when you want it. Tune in to Radio Cayman for hourly headlines of the day's top stories.
Radio Cayman, your voice, your choice, your radio.
For the record, with Orrett Connor.
Initiating system.
For information that matters. For the record, with Orrett Connor. Continues right now on Radio Cayman.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. No guests in the studio. We have an open line and the phones are working. No one is calling in, but that's okay. I'll continue to talk. Until then, please don't wait now until 10 minutes to 10 and then call in, at that point in time, because you won't have much time to talk then. So, the Public Accounts Committee, you heard the chairman, MLA Mr. Ezra Miller, was on the show here on Wednesday. He left early because a new member, Mr. White, was joining the Public Accounts Committee, and as chairman, he felt it was incumbent upon him to ensure that he at least sat with the new member and familiarize him with the workings of the Public Accounts Committee, whatever protocols or whatever. And I thought that was impressive for the chairperson to do that. And the hearing started on Wednesday. Now I'm going to share with you the article. There's an article in Cayman News Service dated the 15th of July, and it is headlined, Chairperson Deflects Blame for Off-Reg's Failings. And it reads, I'll just share part of it with you. Dr. Linford Pearson, who chairs the board of the beleaguered Utilities Regulator, Off-Reg, arrived at the Public Accounts Committee on Wednesday, ready for a fight. The former cabinet minister blamed everything and everyone, from cabinet to the staff, for the multitude of failings surrounding the authority, identified in a report by the Auditor General. Mr. Pearson refused to accept any blame for the problems, claiming he had done nothing wrong and was best placed, for it. So I'm just sharing that part of it because that's the Cayman News Service's take in relation to that. But in listening to other testimony, for instance, yesterday, when it came to questions about the price of fuel in the Cayman Islands, the individual who was being questioned at that point in time, I got the impression, and I'm not sure if any of my listeners now listen to those hearings, but I got the impression that the individual seemed to be more sympathetic towards the providers of fuel, the distributors of fuel in the Cayman Islands than he was to the public, who has been complaining over and over about the price of fuel in the Cayman Islands. And one of the cautionary messages that the individual sent to the public via his statement in the Public Accounts Committee was that we should not use the U.S. prices as a benchmark for the Cayman Islands because of the various differences in the way things are done, the way things are priced in the United States. What the individual failed to do, though, was to say which Caribbean country then, or other country throughout the world, that we should use as a benchmark. Seems as if there was some concession made by the witness that the fuel providers at some point in time transgressed some of either the regulations or whatever, and as a result of that we saw a drop in fuel, and there were questions from the chairman in relation to other transgressions and when we would see and how the public would benefit from any penalty that may have been imposed. Now, in some instances, when large companies are penalized for transgressions, it is usually done by way of reduction in fees that the consumer would normally pay. So in this case, it may result in a reduction in the price of fuel at the pumps in the Cayman Islands. And there was some indication that that may have been done already, and we may see more of it in the future. What also emerged from the testimonies and from other individuals who appeared in front of the Public Accounts Committee is that OFREG seems to be similar to a dysfunctional family. And now I know those are strong words, but I'm saying them. OFREG appears to be operating like a dysfunctional family. We heard talks about operation in silos there. We heard stories about individuals acting as CEO of OFREG. We heard stories of individuals either applying or not applying for the post of CEO when it was advertised. We know that eventually the successful candidate was a non-Caymanian who was not originally a part of OFREG, was not working in any capacity of OFREG. And we even heard either the chairman or one of the members of the Public Accounts Committee speaking about the fact that they could understand any difficulties that the current holder of the position, who only been in that post since 2019, I believe it is. Some of the difficulties, despite the very amenable demeanor of the CEO, they could foresee difficulties simply because there were individuals who were still within OFREG who had either served in the position as CEO, either in an acting capacity, or who had applied for the same post that this individual now held. So that is my reason for saying that, and the impression that I got listening to the questions and answers in the Public Accounts Committee, that is the impression that I got, that OFREG was operating like a dysfunctional family. We don't know what's going to happen as a result of the Auditor General's report. We did hear from some of the witnesses that they do accept what the Auditor General has said in the report. Whether or not, and I haven't read the full report yet, whether or not there are steps to be taken and timelines for those steps to be accomplished, and whether or not they will be accomplished is another question. But I am sure that the government is listening. I am sure that the chairman of the Public Accounts Committee and his membership will do whatever they have to do in terms of their report. And at the end of the day, we hope that if a decision is made that OFREG, as it is currently composed, the composition of OFREG, the structure itself, if that is fit for purpose, if it is fit for purpose, that we get competent persons in those positions to ensure that OFREG operates the way that it was intended. Now, as far as the price, the cost of electricity, as far as the cost of fuel is concerned, I don't know what the government's intention, and we heard statements being made in relation to what the remit of OFREG is, in terms of ensuring competition, fair competition. What we didn't hear a whole lot about was ensuring that the public got a fair shake and got value for money. The expectations of the people of the Cayman Islands is for OFREG to be able to look after their interests when it comes to pricing. And if that remit hasn't been given and extended to OFREG, then we need to look at what OFREG's remit is and whether or not that needs to be changed as well, because there are expectations that the people of the Cayman Islands have. And until such time as we establish some type of consumer protection agency in the Cayman Islands, all the people have to look forward to is for these statutory authorities to look out for their interests. Now, if those authorities feel that it is not within their remit to do that, then we need to look about changing the remit or putting something else in place so that whatever regulatory functions you want entities like OFREG to perform, that they perform those. But right now, whether correctly or incorrectly, the public is looking at OFREG as the entity that will help to keep prices down, to ensure that there is no collaboration between the various competitors to keep the prices of products artificially high. Oh, another thing we heard was about human resource handbook, or that's what I'm calling it, guidelines for human resources. So these are all of the things that seem to be missing in OFREG. And it sounds as if we created an entity before. No, I'll put it this way. We built a house without a foundation. We built a house without a foundation because you would expect that all of these things were put in place before. Folks, listen to the debate. Listen to the hearings of the Public Accounts Committee, and they will resume again on the I'll look at the date, but we believe it's the 22nd that it will resume as well. We have to take a commercial break. Folks, please stay tuned. For the record, we'll be back shortly.
At Seaboard Marine, customers often ask us questions about their shipments.
Hi, I'm thinking of buying a car from the States. Which port do you ship out of?
Hi, we ship out of Miami, Houston, and Brooklyn. Just let us know your port of choice and we can provide you with a quotation and answer any questions you may have on insuring and protecting your vehicle during its journey.
Shipping shore to shore, Seaboard.
You've spent a lot of time with your kitchen appliances lately. Did you realize just how old or out of date they really are? If you're thinking of upgrading or replacing your old kitchen appliances, there is only one place to go: Brand Source Home Gallery. They're having a 15% off sale on GE appliances this month. That's right, save 15% off on all GE appliances now through the end of July. You will love the savings and the look of your fresh new appliances from Brand Source Home Gallery in Industrial Park on Dorsey Drive. Call 623-5000 for more information.
Your Radio Cayman 7 a.m. news, brought to you by Cayman National, proudly serving the Cayman Islands since 1974. Visit www.caymannational.com for up-to-date information for all your financial needs and follow us on social media.
For the record with Orrett Connor.
Initiating system.
For information that matters. For the record with Orrett Connor. Continues right now on Radio Cayman.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. We have a few callers. So before we go to the callers, I just want to point out that the Public Accounts Committee, the public hearings, the schedule was we had the 15th of July and the 16th of July. That was Wednesday and Thursday. Then hearings again on the 22nd of July and the 23rd of July. And at yesterday's hearing, we did hear the chairman invite some of the witnesses to return on next week as well. Let's go to the phone lines. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning, OC. Peter Schmidt here.
Good morning, sir. How are you?
I'm okay, thank you. I hope the same for yourself.
Thank you. Thanks.
Good. Sometimes the public or the public that is listening to your program, which I know is large, a large group of large segment of the voting public are listening to your broadcast every time you are on.
Okay.
We are just stupefied by what we are hearing, and we're rendered speechless. The other day, you had they had MLA Ezra Miller on the show, and he was talking about the upcoming sessions of the PAC, the PAC, and he was citing an example where he recommended a prosecution be initiated against an offender of some serious nature that I've forgotten about the details about, and he was informed by the Department for Public Prosecution that the PAC did not have the power to recommend that.
I think it was a civil servant who may have misled the committee.
It really doesn't matter what the details were. The point is, so what are the powers of the PAC? Simply to shine a light on these occurrences and then walk away and don't say anything more. And the voter is left with one option, and that is every 4 years to go to the polls and make a choice that hopefully will lead to a change. And this is, unfortunately, we see a problem across the board when it comes to having to do unpleasant tasks in the performance of their duties in terms of enforcing the existing laws.
Yes.
Okay. I have seen or I've read about issues on the labor front where serious discrepancies were known to have occurred, and I have known personally of situations where establishments have flaunted the requirements in terms of dealing with things that happen to employees, where they have flaunted their responsibilities, where in terms of facilities that they provide for their employees, in terms of fairness in dealing with them, there comes a point to where you, as an individual employee that might have been sacked improperly, has no more recourse, because you're coming up against a wall where you're going to the relevant authorities and you make your report, and then you are cautioned that you shouldn't rock the boat too much because it's a big employer and the department really doesn't have the manpower to pursue these things. So you get to the point where you say, what's the sense? How many times have we heard about off-rake? We have heard of some things happen that were not at all gentlemanly occurrences in the sessions there, where the threat of physical harm was said to have been spoken about from one member to another, and things like that. And you say yourself, here you have these people, you need a book to remember all the titles that they hold that should put them in esteem above the average citizen, and yet you hear of conduct behind the scenes that is you don't even want to hear about, in all honesty, because it completely destroys the vision or the image you had of these people that were appointed to these positions.
Yes.
Okay, so sometimes you shake your head. Sometimes you just shake your head and say, "What are we going to do?" Let me quickly talk about an issue that has just come up. And
okay, very very quickly, because we have about 4 calls, but you were the first one to call in, so I'm going to give you a little bit more time.
Okay, apparently there's a motion, and I did not read everything, where a group of MLAs would like the government to pursue a course that would stimulate population growth and national, also domestic population growth of Caymanians, the birth rate of Caymanians because of replacements, etc., etc. The point is that you cannot just encourage people to have more children. we know now that there are a lot of children that are not enjoying a good, wholesome home in which to grow up in.
Yeah. We don't want numbers just for numbers' sake. Yeah.
Okay. So I know you have more callers, so I'm leaving it at that point.
Okay, caller. Thank you very much for that. We have 3 more calls queued up, and despite me saying earlier from 9 o'clock, you want to talk long, call now. Everyone's chosen to call within the last half an hour of the show, but we're going to try to accommodate all of you. Next caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning, Mr. For the Record.
Good morning, Doc. How are you?
Pretty good. I see you're all alone today.
Yeah, all alone. Short notice. But I've put it out there now. You know, the free time is getting close to an end.
Yeah. Yep. That's usual. That's how our people are. They go to a political meeting and you set out chairs for them just to be comfortable, and they hide in the dark and they sit in the car. That doesn't surprise me at all.
So true.
Yes. So what I want to say, I know I don't have a lot of time to formulate a good argument, but what I would just like to ask you: do you know the remit of reg? It seems to me that if they do not know the price of fuel, if the people who import fuel and sell fuel will not tell them the actual price of fuel, and if Orrett can't force them to tell the actual price of fuel, how are they going to do their work?
And
I mean, so what's the use of having it? I mean, they can go to Foster's and they can tell the price. They can tell the price of a can of tuna, how much it costs from the suppliers in Miami, and how much was the freight on it and coming into the country, and what's the markup in it on the shop.
Yep.
So what's so sacred about fuel? The invoice of fuel. It seems to me that the gentleman from Cayman Brac who calls your radio station in the morning and tells you about the movement of fuel and how much it costs at the port and so forth knows most about fuel and off-reg.
And Doc, what I found amazing was that one of the witnesses at the PAC spoke about the fact, they talk about the deep pockets of the oil companies and stuff, and the two things came to mind there, and one was pointed out. They do not have a regulatory lawyer within Off-Reg at this point in time. They had one. He went. They lost him. He went to the UK. They don't have one since. They said it's a very rare commodity, something difficult to find. And my other question is, do they have someone in the office competent to decipher those papers that they're receiving from the oil companies and stuff in relation to shipments and whatever that they use to justify their prices?
Yes, that's right. And but you know, it's our people. Our people are really don't care as long as they can find $2 to put in their car, gas to put in their car. They really don't care. And so this country is really we talk about it's a first world country. It's not a first world country. It's a Mickey Mouse country. It's like a third world country. I mean, you have all these institutions, and not one of them has an enforcement jurisdiction or can enforce, even if they have an enforcement jurisdiction, can enforce anything. So it seems to me it's a free for all, and everybody. It seems to me that as long as I'm getting mine, and I'm getting mine, and I'm comfortable economically and socially and politically, I don't really care about building the country. It's not about nation building in Cayman anymore.
Yep.
You know, and the thing is that people who have the ability to do these things, people have the ability to build nations and to think about populations and stuff for the next 50 years, 100 years, are not the people who are in the forefront. They're not the people who are projected in the society. You know, and I think the last caller was right about the I just want to make this point.
Sure.
It's a preliminary point, but I'm not going into in depth with it because it's a lot of material in it about increasing the population. In Canada, the Canadian people are, I think it's 37 or 38 million people. as against 300 and something million people to the south of them, the United States. And so they are in a minority in North America. So they were trying to build their population and they're doing it by immigration and by asking people to have more children. But the government is taking taking charge of that. The government is giving you something like $200 or $300 a month for each child that you have, and all kind of incentives, so education free and all that sort of stuff, so that you don't have the children and then you don't have any money to educate them and to bring them up in as middle class people. But Canada is paying for that. But you just can't ask. If people here can't even get work as their parents, how the hell is that they're going to feed all these children if they have between four and five of them in a household when their parents can't get to work? You know, you see, all they do is talk a lot of rhetoric and there's no thought behind it. There's no planning behind it. That's what I would just like to say this morning, and I have to say that quickly because I know you don't have time left.
Doc, I want to thank you very much. Have a great weekend. Please stay safe. Folks, please stay tuned. For the record, we'll be back shortly.
We all know there's nothing more refreshing than the taste of an ice-cold Coca-Cola straight from the cooler.
No one can stop me when I taste the feeling.
Whether we're celebrating a birthday, promotion, or just a great meal, make each moment a Coca-Cola moment.
No one can stop me when I taste the feeling.
Available across the Cayman Islands from Tortuga Distributors. Make sure you ask for the unforgettable flavor of a classic Coca-Cola.
At Seaboard Marine, customers often ask us questions about their shipments.
I have various items coming from different suppliers that I need to ship to Cayman. Do you offer consolidation?
Yes. Seaboard Marine offers consolidation for full and less than container loads. We can hold your packages at our Miami warehouse until everything arrives and ship it all in one go. And we have the best rates to Grand Cayman. Visit seaboardmarine.com for more information.
Shipping shore to shore,
As the community continues to take precautions from COVID-19, it is important to stay prepared for other disasters now that we're in the hurricane season. Here are some post-hurricane safety tips from the Department of Environmental Health. Did you know you must ensure all utensils are washed with detergent and rinsed with hot water if they make contact with flood water? For full guidance on post-hurricane safety tips, visit www.deh.gov.ky.
For the record, with Orrett Connor.
Initiating system.
For information that matters. For the record, with Orrett Connor. Continues right now on Radio Cayman.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. We have 3 callers. Those are going to be our final 3 calls for the morning. I want to remind each one of them that we only have about 12 minutes left to go in the show, so we need everyone to be brief. But also, in all fairness to Ofreg, I want to point out when you go to their website and you click on the various things, I looked at what they have in relation to the consumer, and trying to see if I could find, things about Ofreg's remit, and they do have information on there. And this reads that Ofreg is responsible for regulating ICT, energy, fuel, and water services within the Cayman Islands. Liberalization and competition within these sectors can bring many benefits to consumers, such as lower prices, a wider range of services on offer, more providers to choose from, and better customer service. To help inform consumers on how to choose services that best fit their needs, checking billing, etc., the office has set up this web page which provides guidance on various consumer issues. If you have any suggestions as to what other issues the office should provide similar information on, please feel free to email, and they give you the information on there. So that part tells us some, part about their remit. So I don't want to be too unfair. I don't want to be unfair at all to Ofreg in that regard. Let's go to our final 3 callers for the morning. First caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Yes, good morning, MC.
Good morning, my friend. How are you?
Not too bad. How are you?
I'm good, thanks.
Yeah, this is my little 2 cents worth.
Okay.
The Ofreg, About how many members it is on that position?
I think we have different sections. You have ICT, which is like telephones and stuff like that, internet.
No, I mean the members that take care of that off-red office.
Well, what you have is you have a one person who's in charge of ICT. You got energy, fuel. That's at least fuel and water services. At least 4 different heads, 3 or 4 different heads. Then, of course, you have a chair. You have a board that is chaired. Now, I don't think that the chairman, I'm not sure whether or not the chairman is an executive chairman or not. And then it seems as if these heads of these, the ICT, energy and stuff, they also are board members of the board.
So who pays off-red members or the people involved in?
They're paid by government, but a lot their monies, finances are generated, I believe, from fees that they receive from the various sectors, as well. They're allowed to keep some of that money, and some of the money goes into government general revenue.
Well, I think...
But at the end of the day, ultimately, it's the money of the people of the Cayman Islands.
But I think that's where the problem is. We need somebody to have an oversight on what is taking place between the connections with what off-red have with these other bodies that is involved. Because it automatically creates a conflict of interest. Because if CUC come to them and say, listen, this is what I'm going to give you. Just make sure that this stays at this percentage of what the people pay.
Well, while there is that possibility, I don't really believe that it works like that. They have certain fees that they have to pay based on what it is that they're doing. So the utilities companies can't decide what they're going to pay off reg.
They can't decide, but they know who's in charge of their fees that they charge.
But I get your point. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'll leave you with that. I'll call you on Monday, hopefully.
Great. Okay. Next caller. Good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
Mr. Connor.
Yes, ma'am.
17 minutes and 55 seconds.
The phone lines were open all morning from 9 o'clock. I've been begging people to call and nobody called.
And that's the Cayman style. And it's just when it's getting hot and it's time to go off the air.
Yep.
So I think you need to either give us one more day of the week or one more hour of your 3 days of the week. So you all talk to Susan about that.
Management is listening.
Oh, great. Oh, see, how you doing?
I'm good.
Oh, it's so much on my plate. I'm not gonna have enough time to say it.
No, you don't. Yep.
I mean, this mask wearing situation here in the Cayman Islands. Oh, so these people not taking this serious. I'm tired of talking about it, and when I go to the stores, I'm aggravated, I'm upset, and I'm frustrated to the fact of the matter that these people don't care what's happening with this virus, and they're with their masks. Once they get into the grocery store, they takes it off, pulls it down off their nose and their mouth.
Mm-hmm. Do you have to have a mask on to enter the store?
Yes, of course. When you enter that door, they make sure you have your mask on.
So you need, once they get inside, you need people to police it so that they continue to wear them.
Security goes and talk to them as well too, and they mount up the security and so forth. Mm-hmm. You got people going around now saying that they got letters from their doctors stating that they can't wear the mask. So if you can't wear the mask, then wear a shield. Oh, I'm not buying no shield. Well, you stay home.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They stay home, and they're dropping these masks all throughout the island. On the beach, there's masks. We go on the road, there's masks on the side. On the road, these people are ridiculous. I told one lady a couple of days ago, I said, sweetheart, if you're ready to die, you go look for Trump. Because I said, I'm not ready yet. I'm not ready. But, seriously, I was so upset the other day in the Foster airport, and I said to my cousin, something. We're going to the Republic and see what they like down in our district today. We went down, and that thing was nice. Everybody got their masks on.
Mm-hmm. So do you believe that at some point in time that it'll be necessary for the government to make it mandatory that they? Yes.
I hope they do.
Okay.
Because America is going across the board that it's got to be mandatory, and they got a fine and imprisonment.
Yeah.
And we got to do something here in Cayman because these people not taking this thing serious.
Exactly. Okay, let me grab the other caller before we go. We only have about 5 minutes left. You stay safe, my dear. Have a great weekend. Next caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning, OC. This was not planned.
That's okay. That's okay.
You know, OC, credit is due to anybody that do good, right? But whether it's the President of the United States, which I love dearly, and I think he's doing a hell of a good job, right? That is my opinion. I am entitled to that. You know, you just don't hate someone because your brother, your cousin, or your mother say, oh, that person is this and that. No, that's not how the world should work. I just want to give thanks to Mr. McLaughlin and his team of experts for doing the job that they are doing. Had they not done what they did and still continue to do, we would have been just like what is happening in the United States right now, because we have people in this country that has no regards, no respect, nothing for what we as the Caymanian people stand for. So far as going out and getting up in bars and mingling amongst each other, they don't care about this country. We know what they are here for, to do everything possible they can to make it like the country that they came for. And that is totally wrong. If you are here, enjoy the people, love the people, and love the country and everything that it offers. And then there's laws like what is the Premier has done and put in place. Just obey them. If you don't like what we are doing here, we don't have no handcuffs or no chains or anything on you. You can leave, right? It is simple as that, OC. I mean, you're not going to be no rocket scientist, but, you know, some of these people think that they can come here, they can complain about hell, right? And they can still feel free to live amongst us and we accept them. No, my friend. All we want you to do is just be a part of us. Love us and we will love you. But that is not what is happening. Oh, see, one other quick thing.
Sure.
Have you noticed lately that there's a lot of dead chickens on the road? Have you noticed that by any chance?
Yes, I've seen some of it. Yep.
Well, I've noticed it, OC, and let me tell you something. Some of these people don't have no value of life. Then you can see people run over a chicken. I mean, I drive behind people all the time, and I see a chicken or a hen crossing the road. And you think these people slow down? Oh, see, we don't need these kind of people here in this country either.
Well, I don't know if you saw, sorry to interrupt you, but I don't know if you saw the story the other day that one of the iguanas at the Botanic Park there, that a driver deliberately drove on the verge of the road and killed that iguana.
Oh, see, I'm not surprised. And these are the people that we need to get rid of in this country because we do not need them here. They need to go back to where they come from because they have no value of life. We value life, right? Dearly.
But calling in all fairness, sometimes you don't know who's behind the wheel of that car. You know, it's very difficult to determine the nationality. Could be Caymanian too.
Oh, see, that is fine, okay? But I'm not giving them no excuse either. But these people that do these things to these chickens and stuff on the road, they know who they are. Okay. And if you are not a Caymanian, then you need to go somewhere else. Don't stay in this country. If you're a Caymanian, you should be ashamed of yourself to do something like that. You're a disgrace. Good morning, Austin. Have a good morning.
Take care. You take care, my friend. Yeah, I've seen a lot of Caymanians do a lot of crazy things on the road as well. So we don't want to paint everyone with a broad brush. I think what we want to say that we all need to act, as human beings, when it comes to certain things as well. Have a WhatsApp message here. Let's read this one. It says, in addition to what Doc said about government, giving money to mothers, families having more children, money alone cannot make bad parents better. It needs a responsible group of social workers that will keep tabs on the life of what will hopefully become the future of the Cayman Islands, not just one social worker for a whole district like West Bay. It needs to be a comprehensive, serious effort, not an election ploy. That is well said, and we will use that to close off the show as well. Let's see if there's anything else. Be a part of us and love us, and we will love you back. That's not much to ask for. I agree. Yeah, if you're here, we allow you to be here. Be a part of us. You can still retain your own identity, your own, customs, as long as they are aligned with our values here in the Cayman Islands as well. Folks, I want to thank you for allowing Radio Cayman, and by extension, For the Record, into your homes, into your vehicles as you traverse the busy roads of the Cayman Islands, into your places of work, wherever that may be. I also want to remind you that we are our brothers and our sisters' keepers. There is always someone out there who's less fortunate than we are, and I ask you to extend a helping hand to them. If you can't do that, then I suggest you donate to a worthy charity, because we always want to consider those who need, not necessarily those who want or even those who crave. So I say to you, have a great day. Continue to support your radio station, Radio Cayman. Join Sterling Dwayne Banks at 12:15 for Talk Today. And as usual, we ask the good Lord to bless these three beautiful, wonderful Cayman Islands.
For the Record is brought to you by Vamped Motors, the only authorized Ford and Toyota dealership serving the Cayman Islands. K-Man Pharmacy Group, with a location in West Bay and professional pharmacy at CTMH Doctors Hospital. The K-Man Pharmacy Group has a location for you just around the corner. Seaboard Marine, with over 35 shipping ports, find your shipping solution by calling 949-4977 or visit seaboardmarine.com for competitive rates.
FIS MoneyGram, the safest and most convenient way to send money worldwide. MoneyGram, bringing you closer. Coca-Cola, available across the Cayman Islands from Tortuga Distributors. Accept no substitutes. Taste the feeling with Coca-Cola. Brand Source Home Gallery, inspiring luxury. And Fidelity Bank. Fidelity, we're good for you.